been on unorthodox picks for the top lane. So let's see what he's got for us here. Potential last pick for Mysterious Monkeys as they're on the red side, but it's orthodox bans coming through. Rakan off the table, Zac off the table, two of the most highly banned champions so far in this split for EU, released on 7-12, off the board.
And neither team wants to play against the reliable engage that those guys bring to the table. Rakan with the grand entrance combo. So effective. Cassio taken away from CozQ, limiting a lot of the comfort picks there. Of course, one of the few champions that he plays at a very high level that is in the more standard in the meta, we can say. The Katarina, something we very frequently expect to see, but definitely not something that was standard.
And I wouldn't be surprised to now see priority on the Orianna. It was the other champion that he earned a win on for the Mysterious Monkeys earlier on in the week against NIP. And as you said, comfort champions seem to be something that Mysterious Monkeys are finding their groove on rather than top-tier meta picks. And I think that's honestly the way they should go right now. In a tough situation, a lot of jungle bans come out now to round out the rest of this draft. Kha'Zix, high priority. Thresh is available. Galio, for once, is available too.
Banning the Rek'Sai away from Amazing as well. Galio, once again, going to be locking for G2 Esports. It's been a hit or miss pick for the team, but there could be no doubt that it is an incredibly powerful pick on the current patch. Definitely can bring a lot to the table.
Sure, and this gives Mysterious Monkeys the opportunity to flex this Gragas now. It has been a good pick for Amazing in the jungle outside of that Rek'Sai, but now Galio into Gragas, if it ends up being the top lane matchup, isn't the worst thing in the world. I mean, we've seen G2 try and give perks over the Galio as well. Hasn't had the same success that we've seen other teams have, but there's a lot of flexible potential for Mysterious Monkeys
and
right
now. Paired with the Kha'Zix as well, and the Tahm Kench, a lot of global potential between the Abyssal Voyage from the Tahm Kench, the Hero's entrance coming in from the Galio. It's going to be very difficult to pick off single members of G2 at any point for the Mysterious Monkeys squad, and that's already what they're going to with the Thresh, with the Gragas.
And that's what I quite like in this sense for G2, is they're showing us a more macro-oriented style where you're looking for team play rather than individual success. Now, Yuki getting his hands on the Kalista. It's a pick that we have seen a couple of times. He has played one game of it. It was a loss, unfortunately, for Mysterious Monkeys, but then you look at the first couple of weeks of the series.
I think that might be the status quo.
Yeah,
remember, they only
exactly.
have 2 wins, Stress, so I think the vast majority, but the team has been improving, and interesting that they prioritize the AD carry and support in this first pick phase. Of course, does free them up now to save those later picks for their solo lanes, and now opting to ban some AD carries away.
And despite playing into the Tahm Kench, obviously Kalista, Thresh is a very strong lane, a very strong duo together. Now they take away the Lucian potential out of the mid lane for PerkZ. Of course, now if Galio does go to the top lane, that of course requires PerkZ to play a little bit more of a high damage champion out of the mid lane. Can't really pick something that scales up and waits, otherwise you might just lose the top 2 lanes quickly.
Very true. Interesting Kennen ban being taken away from Kikis. Looks like you brought up some of the potential carry options for Kikis on the top side. G2 do not want to see it. Have banned away the Kennen, Lucian, now Kassadin to follow. Interesting option here. Looks like Mysterious Monkeys do not want to be brought into the late game up against a pick like the Kassadin.
And imagine a situation where a Kassadin makes it through the laning phase without being too pressured, then gets damage reduction from a Galio, has a Tahm Kench to save him in a team fight later this game goes. Suddenly, that Kassadin has a lot of more protection than you typically would anticipate. And he's drawn a Mordekaiser ban.
I absolutely love this. I mean, I hate it because I really like seeing weird things like Mordekaiser. However, I think clear that G2 are taking this match seriously, even if they are the favorites to come out on top, as they're banning away some of those picks from the Mysterious Monkeys.
LeBlanc makes sense here. It's one of those blind pickable mid laners. Now we've obviously got to look at the likes of a Syndra or an Orianna for perks to come through, which gives Mysterious Monkeys that ability to either pick jungle or top lane as the last pick. And we know Kikis has these counter matchups, the Aatrox, that type of thing. So until G2 lock in their second solo laner, we don't know exactly where the priority of this Galio is going for them.
However, Twitch now locked in. This has been the power pick for Zven. Looks like it could be the Renekton as well, the blind pick, the reason that they would ban away the Mordekaiser. But I want to talk about the LeBlanc Stress, because last time we saw CozQ on stage with this LeBlanc, it was H2K. He dove face first into every cocoon that could possibly be thrown at him, and it was not the performance we wanted to see, and it makes me a little nervous to see them putting that same carry priority on CozQ again in the mid lane.
And CozQ was the LeBlanc that was just constantly going aggressive, just randomly teleporting in, trying to get kills going, and we were like, yeah, Mysterious Monkeys, they're fun to watch. But didn't necessarily provide them with the results they were looking for. And we talked about getting a side lane pick for Kikis. Well, Camille fits that bill. Of course, early game may be a little bit tricky against Renekton. Most people have that kind of struggle up against Renekton, but obviously the later the game goes, Camille starts to take over, and we know Amazing loves to go top lane for Kikis, so if a kill goes to this Camille, suddenly the Renekton doesn't look so scary.
And there's a lot of power in these lanes. LeBlanc in the mid lane can kind of just freely farm up against the Galio, though she may be pushed in, but the Kalista, the Thresh, very strong in the early laning phase, and while Kikis may suffer, you did note, you know, Amazing's probably going to give him the attention that we've seen in the past, although they could mix it up. So some pushing lanes here early for G2, but bot lane definitely a point of weakness.
And that's the other side, is it might not just be Amazing that roams. LeBlanc very good at getting out of lane at the same time, whether it's a teleport, whether it's just pushing and roaming that you were talking about, can contend with the Galio in the early game and realistically have that impact on the map. So it's kind of up to G2 to spot that coming, make sure that they don't fall prey to Mysterious Monkeys playing through the top side, because that has to be the strongest point for MM here.
All right, earlier, folks, we saw the fan votes. Hashtag G2 win was above 90%. MM win, very low. But let us know what you think. Maybe you in the audience have a different opinion. You at home, you want to mix it up a little bit. You want to throw that graphic off. You want to throw your faith behind the Mysterious Monkeys. They've already taken down ninjas. Why not Samurai too?
There's a curse, however, that goes against the 90%. As soon as the team curse, however, that goes against the 90%. As soon as the team gets that many votes, typically it goes away from them. We'll see whether Mysterious Monkeys can turn the curse in their favor as we head into game 1 between G2 eSports and Mysterious Monkeys.
It is the Monkeys. They have the paw. The curse is against G2. It all comes back. Prop comedy stress. That's what the EU LCS is about.
We need more of it.
However, I don't think we're going to expect any explosive level 1 plays here. Mysterious Monkeys giving G2 a lot of respect, and G2 not looking to take any risks. They can't afford to. This is a team that, I mean, I think we still say, feels like they should be at the top of the EU LCS, but they're not there. They have not shown us a performance worthy of being a top team. And every time they go into a game, it feels shaky.
It does, and we were talking a little bit yesterday in the analyst desk about how realistically G2's substitute roster has the same win record in series than the actual G2 starting lineup has. They both won 1 series each, so hats off to Lulex and Sendo on that one.
Hey, don't forget Blanc, man. Blanc put up some numbers, man.
He did. It was a good performance. But now has to be the rebuilding of G2. They have to be back on top form already. They're playing up against a former member. You don't want to lose to somebody that left you like a year ago.
Definitely not the case. And when we look at Kikis and his performance against Ninjas in Pajamas, he was such a huge part of the team's success, playing both something like the Mordekaiser, something unpredicted, and something much more standard. When we see the Gragas, it's definitely like the power of the flex pick, but it's not always exciting. But his play was so clean in that series and so effective in those team fights, just a major key to success overall.
And a lot of the early game setup was that it had impact from Amazing topside, as we were talking about, a higher jungle proximity than normal. And that kind of led to that activity increase for Kikis. But looking at this game specifically, for Trick, obviously a lot of help comes from the bottom lane there, has been spotted out by Mysterious Monkeys. And now we have to see, can Trick offset some of that high jungle priority, the high early game activity that Kikis showed us before by ganking topside, shutting down some of this aggression out of Amazing.
And keep in mind, that's an insanely high K+A at 15, involved in almost 4 kills across the series at 15 minutes. Action happens around Kikis on this team. And you can see already getting the fast level 2 and expect taking a poor trade right to start it off in a matchup where Renekton usually feels pretty comfortable.
Yeah, Kikis getting that early game advantage. As you said, normally the Renekton one, but look, Amazing not trending towards the top lane right now. He's actually trending towards bot, which means Kikis.
Oh, Kikis is the worst time to ward. In goes Trick. Down goes the damage. Adaptive defense is trying to buy a little bit of time. Kikis fails the flash. That's not the start you wanted. Out comes the sweep. Down goes the first blood. G2 off to a nice start.
Already with the game plan in place to make sure Mysterious Monkeys don't get Kikis going. I mean, Amazing, he was pathing bot side with this Gragas. That was a hook somehow landing on Zven.
He has to eat him up, and All right, Mysterious Monkeys very clearly pushing their lanes aggressively. It's punished on the top side, and it looks like it might just be the rinse and repeat coming out here, Stress.
Oh, this is going to be real tough for Kikis. He has to respect it. He does have the control ward down. Will lose that now, though. As now, Kikis basically has to sit under tower for a while.
And you brought it up. You talked about the jungle proximity on the top side. You said, amazing. He might want to camp it. He might camp it, as we always see him do. Yeah, this time G2 came prepared. They brought a tent of their own, and they are ready to shut down that Camille in the early game, ready to snowball that Renekton ahead. And when we look at Trick, this Kha'Zix was such a strong pick for him. That one win, that was the Kha'Zix in the Unicorns of Love series. But in those losses, he did nothing. Not that he wasn't around, just that it was never effective.
Yeah, it didn't really have that impact, and you can see his jungle proximity didn't really change up, but down heavily in the losses, really no impact on the game. Luckily, we're seeing a change for that. For G2's fortunes, it's not the same kind of Trick that was in the losses here. He's already had impact. We're only 4 minutes into the game, and he's already got first blood for himself, which on Kha'Zix is real difficult for Amazing to deal with now. Amazing basically has to respect Kha'Zix all the way up past level 6 until he has his ultimate, and can just have impact in those multi-person skirmishes.
Definitely has to back off. Kha'Zix, the insane dueling potential, but Trick, this champion pool's been kind of a question mark. He's been playing so many different things, and the Kha'Zix against Unicorns of Love was successful. He brings out the Kha'Zix here again, but we've been wondering what happens when the Kha'Zix is banned away. But that's a question for next game. For now, we just need to keep our eyes on if he can continue to snowball, if he can have that same level of performance. Yeah,
and realistically, Trick is a player that has gone up and down in his trends when it comes to his performance. MSI was perhaps one of the lowest points for Trick, and he admitted that, at least in the group stage. He bounces back, finds his form once again, but it seemed to have been temporary, and that, I think, is a lot of what worries people about this G2 lineup, is the growth we saw going into the series against WE, against MSI, didn't stick around. Hang on, bottom lane, Trick once again looking for impact, can't get anything, summoners are up bot
I got
side.
excited, I waved my hands, I tried to get your attention, I was like, Stress, this is me, let me in, I gotta talk about it, not gonna happen. Yuki backs off, Dreams backs off as well. Now they're gonna throw down a little bit of damage, but Dreams have to wonder if he should have taken that hook. Eventually a bad play as the stun does come in, but Amazing on the way as well. Mithy just going to keep ticking down. There's the thick skin, but that shield is going to decay. That's the flash out. Trick leaping out to safety as well, and that's advantage to Mysterious Monkeys.
Yeah, forcing that flash away, making sure that he didn't end up dying under the tower for Mithy. And of course, his job is a lot more around protecting Zven in those situations, but this now becomes a lot more tricky. Without his flash available, Zven has to be a little more careful as well. If a hook lands, Mithy can't close the distance to keep him alive in that bottom lane, and that is a significant advantage when it comes to CS numbers going in favor of Yuki and Dreams. A lot of it off those early trades, but not something that we're accustomed to seeing for Zven and Mithy being down against the European bot lane.
Yeah. Definitely just giving us the respect here in the laning phase. CozQ and PerkZ. CozQ, ooh, nice dodge on that, but does miss the double chain. Trick gonna come over the wall. CozQ, distortion, could be up. Trick not going to take the risk. And Amazing trying to relieve some of the pressure on top side. You saw the level 6 advantage be crucial for Expect, but now Kikis has it as well. Not quite as one-sided as it was moments ago.
But it's so much so that Expect has the item advantage as well as the farm advantage and some sense of a level advantage alongside it. So realistically, Expect is quite happy right now, but the problem G2 will face is if this game goes longer and the state in top lane remains roughly where it is now, Camille will build back into this game. It's difficult to put her down and out with only that one essence of impact in top lane out of Trick.
Honeyfruit are invisible. That's new. Self-defense mechanism didn't work. Nice try, Honeyfruit. Mithy now moving up, though, out of lane, ready to roam into mid lane if necessary, but for now it just looks like the battle of vision. Dreams and Yuki positioned very defensively as Amazing's going to walk potentially right over a ward. Pretty much inevitably so as the red buff has started up, and that's going to be decent information for J2, but it doesn't look like they actually spotted him out. Could be a little bit of an advantage there. Yeah,
the wards all just did die as Amazing was crossing into the jungle, but with the red buff timing coming back up, they know that he's about to hit level 6. Trick did get 6 first. Trick will have that, obviously, first evolution on the queue for now, but it's not going to be so impactful right now that Amazing can't have impact himself. Didn't quite get 6 off the red buff. Still about a third of the level away. Should get it off Raptors, and CozQ is already looking to roam. Trying to clear out some of the vision first because they know he'll get spotted on the way up towards topside. And a ping goes on to Expect in the top lane from Mysterious Monkeys. you gotta wonder, where are they going? Where's all of this action?
See,
everything topside already.
That's the thing I love about ping. Sometimes you can tell what they're saying. They're like, missing, missing, missing. You know someone's going to roam into that lane. Sometimes they ping top and he's like, this guy, you know, we can gank him now. Sometimes it's as insignificant as, please stand here so I can push this wave. The endless mysteries of team communication. For now, that looks like it's going to be the solo out on the Ocean Drake as CozQ and PerkZ continue just to go toe-to-toe here. Tries to cancel out the distortion, but not quite enough chain CC there for PerkZ. And once again, this mid lane matchup, it's about pushing. It is not about fighting each other. It is about looking for those roams. And now Trick getting the dragon. It's going to make that lane even easier.
And this dragon comes from just having the read on where Amazing is likely to path. He knows he's not going to get contested on an Ocean Drake. Amazing has no necessary reason to go aggressive around that. And it just means that Trick says, okay, we've got a ward topside. There's no way Expect is going to die. Let's just get a dragon for this. It's the only thing really realistically available that's easy, but now Expect has to play it the safe way without a ward.
Amazing on the way in. Expect there's no tools to escape. He may just get knocked down here. That's the kill over to Kikis. Attention topside, paying off.
If at first you don't succeed, try, keep trying again, and maybe Mysterious Monkeys will manage to get that gank off. And that's what they've been doing here. Unfortunately for Expect, he'd played everything up until this point very safe, very secure with the lead as well, but now the ward had died, Trick wasn't in position to counter gank, and it means it's a well-executed setup. They know with the Hextech ultimatum that Expect doesn't have the luxury of the slice and dice realistically to escape, and up comes Amazing, easy body slam into the cask. Everything goes in Mysterious Monkey's favor. Actually didn't even use the cask for that exchange. And Expect knows that
okay, yeah, all right, he was there. But hungry to move forward, wanted to move in. Now double control ward to move in. Now double control ward. Does not improve vision, but it looks cool.
It's okay. If anybody comes in to steal, they got to kill like 8 hits on a ward, right? That's why you kill like 8 hits on a ward, right? That's why you do it.
Kikis goes over. Does look like briefly spots Mithy. Does burn the Blast Cone as well. CozQ continues to trade with PerkZ, but the Ocean Drake means PerkZ essentially has infinite mana, but not infinite health as Kikis moves in. Starts the fight off. Tactical Sweep goes in. Taunt comes in as well. Flash out to safety. Body Slam cast going in. That's the kill in the mid lane as well. Traded for the Rift Herald.
So Mysterious Monkeys not playing the objective game for now. Rift Herald goes over to Trick. G2 have already made the swap up to the top side, but Mysterious Monkeys had enough time to get Kalista, get Thresh up into the top lane as well to deny that impact. So G2, we have to look at what the Rift Herald nets them in order to really answer the fact, was it worth that kill in the middle lane? Normally, it gets you a turret, should be a trade in favor of G2.
And have to say, Mysterious Monkeys keeping up with G2 thus far. They lose the Dragon, they loop the Rift Herald. That could be something greater for G2 in the long run, but it's a good look overall right now for Mysterious Monkeys. And you can see they committed a lot of resources. It works out in the end.
And this is all PerkZ trying to just emphasize the mid priority here, push out the lane as far as possible to make sure nobody comes up and stops the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, Mysterious Monkeys just wanted to kill.
Clay goes back. Mithy not too scared, knows he has the thick skin, but has to be careful. Grey Hills will start to deplete. Amazing is in the brush, but spotted out by the control ward there. Nice forward thinking from G2, expecting Amazing once again on the top side. It doesn't matter who is there. Amazing is all about the top.
And there's itemization that tells you he just doesn't care who's there, but he just wants to get there. Moby Boots before almost anything else on this Gragas. He's like, I don't care about being tanky, I don't care about having damage. All I care about is being there. Team player Amazing. He's just like, I'm getting into lane, I'm going to get people the kills, make sure Mysterious Monkeys can hang with G2 for now.
For now, CozQ doing his best to hang, but has to be careful. PerkZ just going to throw up the punch, but the clone blocks it out. Now flashing forward for Trick. CozQ potentially in trouble here. He is going to get taken down in the end. Trick so aggressive on the Kha'Zix, but it pays off.
Yeah, both mid laners a little bit sloppy giving over to kills, but you can see that obviously Amazing and Trick are the key turning points in that middle lane. It's when they try and make those aggressive plays, like this one for G2, that they look the most successful. Rift Herald now spawned in the mid lane. No minion wave yet, but it is going to be with the Rift Herald just after in a couple of seconds' time.
Amazing doing what he can to stop it, but Zven just getting free hits on the tower. Cask used just to buy a little bit of time. Here comes the LeBlanc, here comes the Camille. The stun going down on the Zven, still has the Devour, but they're locking him into the cage, but it's Galio coming in with the heroic entrance. That could be dangerous. The taunt comes out as well, but keep your eyes on Yuki. In goes the Fate's Call. Expected's coming in on the backside. Has activated the ultimate. They have to back off. Mysterious Monkeys, 5 members strong, making the front line, making sure Expect is set to die. Monkeys take the fight.
And this time, Mysterious Monkeys, good usage of the double teleport. Of course, Kikis didn't need it. He was already around, but it's the LeBlanc teleport that proves to be key. Getting the numbers advantage early, and Expect comes into the fight late, but doesn't really recognize that outside, the rest of G2 are just backing away. They don't want the rest of this fight. Expect goes in aggressively and ends up dying for it, but Kikis initially doesn't want to just use the ultimatum early because if the rest of Mysterious Monkeys can't catch up in time, it goes to waste. Luckily though, Expect kind of puts himself out on a silver platter coming back into the fight, thinking that just because he has enough health, he is able to survive. Unfortunately, the hook lands, he's pulled back into the rest of the fight. Mysterious Monkeys managed to defend the Rift Herald push, not lose mid-tower, and get a kill against G2.
The sacrificial lamb in the end there for Expect, but despite some success in the CS department with the support of Trick in the early game, Expect still not getting the upper hand in this matchup. Camille getting more items under her belt means it's only going to get harder as we move later into the game. And I think surprise standout thus far, Yuki and Dreams, exactly where they need to be in multiple plays.
And it's not only being exactly where they need to be, they've also out-farmed Zven and Mithy, who, you know, Zven and Mithy with the Tahm Kench should theoretically have been in the lane in the right place. The problem is G2 had emphasized the Rift Herald instead of a tower push, which pushes Zven and Mithy behind, which Yuki and Dreams catch up and extend their CS lead and defend any push from it. That's the tempo loss that some teams have talked about with Rift Herald. If you don't have a clear opening for it, your enemy are going to be able to pick up a lot in exchange, and that's exactly what the Mysterious Monkeys did.
It's definitely the case. Well, PerkZ, nice predict on the CozQ pathing there. It's going to get a beneficial trade, but sadly, he's just a little Galio.
Is here.
Ooh. He has a Spectre's Cowl, he has the Merc Treads. Very unlikely that both those AP champions can kill him, but he can't kill them either, so.
Yeah, exactly, it's Galio, right? The reason they don't go aggressive this time, though, with Amazing, is because they did not have vision on Trick. Trick was actually on KRUG's recalling out, so despite having good lower side river vision, there wasn't really that aggressive play that we've already seen twice out of both teams in the middle lane.
For now, blue buff donated over to CozQ will match some of the regeneration of the Ocean Drake, but PerkZ is going to be happy to take down this tower. More than happy to tank a shot out. Amazing is, in theory, on the way in. Gunblade proc just to slow him down a little bit. Trick's not even interested. Knows the Galio is going to get out. He sets his sights instead on the Mountain Drake, and he is completely undetected.
Yeah, this is the one area that Mysterious Monkeys didn't have warded. They had about 5 or 6 wards on the bottom side river, but not actually in place to spot out the Drake. So Trick has actually been unwarded by MM for maybe the last minute and a half to 2 minutes. So that actually makes their decision-making process quite difficult. Tough to know exactly where he is. Obviously, with a global indicator now, they'll know he was on Drake. Top side would normally be safer, but Kikis was already recalling out, already getting himself out of that situation. So nothing really that MM can prioritize in response to that Mountain Drake being killed.
Zven now moving forward into the mid lane. CozQ pushing, completely unaware. Surprise, surprise. He's just going to leap over the wall. However, no opportunity to go for anything else. But now Galio has been committed to the side lane. May not have kill pressure, but does still have the wave clear. And can probably hold against Yuki and Dreams. But Mithy and Trick are on the way down. Yeah,
CozQ's roaming in response to a Tahm Kench ultimate that they're actually foreseeing, but the fact that he walks over ward makes him a juicy target here. So G2 not instantly going for the aggressive play, but now PerkZ may be in trouble.
Play comes out, Dreams is in trouble. Fate's Call used to transfer tower aggro. Now they're going back in, and PerkZ is all alone under the tower. He may have the MR, but does he have the armor? Doesn't even need it. Heroic entrance, more like heroic exit. Now Kikis is the one in trouble, is just going to get taken down immediately. Mithy and Zven, they didn't need to go bot, they just turn it around and go right to top lane.
Nice pivot out of G2 in the sense that PerkZ knew he could just wait out the crowd control, exit up towards Trick, and instead of taking Trick to the bottom lane, they took Twitch to the top side.
Flay coming in, taunt as well. Dreams flash backwards, hook forward, not going to connect. Trick goes in, looking for the reset on the jump, not level 11. He's not going to get it. Yuki gets the shutdown. CozQ moves forward, but Mysterious Monkeys just going toe-to-toe with G2 right now.
Yeah, but G2, however, are taking the better of the majority of these trades. Unfortunately for MM, it's still quite even, but nevertheless, G2 have done a good enough job to extend that lead. Now with Zven getting time in the top side, this is going to be a side lane 1 versus 1, but Kikis has to lock down Twitch before Twitch stealths up, otherwise you're never going to catch him.
Oh, nope. Kikis. Detective Kikis did not find that one, unfortunately. Just going to back it up. We'll watch one more time what happened on the top side as we were busy focused on the bot.
Yeah, it's watching the minimap here. You saw us earlier highlighting the fact that Mithy was likely to take Trick to the bottom side. They actually move away from that plan, bring Zven to the top side, focus down the member of Mysterious Monkeys that we're expecting to carry this game. And Kikis, if he ends up getting ahead, they kill him, take down his tower. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, a low health set of Monkeys end up trying to take a trade and don't really get the best of it as Trick was able to jump for that kill, get 1-for-1 trade down here, but with a tower going topside, G2 extending that lead ever so slightly.
But the instant response coming back to the Mysterious Monkeys and no pressure points on the map yet for G2. Zven pushes on the bottom. The Monkeys are set to grab a tower on the top, and that means approaching the 20-minute mark. The gold still just about dead even. Small advantage for G2, definitely larger with both of those dragons backing them up, but this is not the stomp we may have been expecting.
No, it's not the stomp, and a lot of it is the way that Mysterious Monkeys still have an essence of that always fighting, always trying style that didn't work out well for them in the first few weeks of the split, but certainly they've started to steady themselves with through Kikis and Amazing. And Mysterious Monkeys did do a good job somewhat strategically in the beginning of the game, at least respecting the lane swaps that came out of G2. They were trying to play a very tricky game, moving to the top side with Tahm Kench, trying to get the Rift Herald, and those two plays initially didn't quite work out.
Mithy, though, of course, a phenomenal Tahm Kench player, eventually does get a play on the top side. Eventually it leads to the team getting a tower. Mysterious Monkeys not going to get too many more chances as we move later and later into the game to match wits with G2, because realistically, you see Zven, you see that Twitch, and you know you're fighting not just against G2, but also against the clock, because when that Twitch gets a few more items, things start to get a lot harder. Yeah,
and we already spoke about the teamfight protection for Twitch, right? The one advantage may very well come through from Mysterious Monkeys, though. Look at it, Righteous Glory, early buy for Gragas. Of course, there was the adjustment to the build. Now comes out of Glacial Shroud and a little bit of extra synergy with regards to a jungle item being picked up early. But Amazing is going to run at Twitch, try and hit him with the ult, and if he gets it, theoretically Zven dies, and a lot of the damage just falls out for G2. Relying on a Kha'Zix and a Renekton isn't necessarily the most straightforward team fight.
And while I'm willing to believe that,
it's got to happen, right?
One, they have to execute. Two, Dreams can't afford to get caught out. But that's not the most pressing issue. There's a Tahm Kench there to say no. There's a Galio there to say no to any fight, and Trick tries to escape, but Kikis says no. Here comes the heroic entrance. CozQ on the backside, looking to get Trick taken down. Flash forward. He burns up. Kikis now looking for a little bit more. PerkZ is all alone in the middle of the team. Where is the Twitch? They need the damage. He doesn't have the items quite yet. Now heal up to take him to safety. Mysterious Monkeys just fighting, going all the way into the base of G2. Mithy tries to make it over the wall, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Yuki grabs another kill, and Expect in the meantime is on the top side.
And this is as basic a mistake as not really respecting your own disadvantage when it comes to teleport plays on the map. Now, Expect's TP wasn't up, neither is Kikis, but Kikis was already in the right place to start coming across for this fight, whereas Expect was not. Expect couldn't gather with the rest of the team. Now they're forced to use PerkZ teleport to defend in the middle lane, and Mysterious Monkeys pick up enough gold to hang even in this game with G2.
And that has been the case thus far. Now G2 getting the benefit in a lot of different plays, but this one, a lot of resources committed, not going to get the pick off in the end, and it does feel like it sort of sets them up for a successful play here on the side of Mysterious Monkeys.
So that was the attempted play on Dreams early on, and then they go aggressive on Trick. It's the ultimatum comes out from Kikis. Look, Expect could choose to recall here, may not make it to the fight in time, so decides to push up towards the tower. But G2 still try and take the rest of this fight, and it just goes a little bit messy as it goes further on. Mithy not able to make it in through the base gate, and Mysterious Monkeys able to take him down. Again, it's enough to be hanging on with this game. We've got to praise Yuki and Dreams. May not be the cleanest game, but they are up 40 CS in this matchup.
Definitely happy to have it, using the early game strength of that Kalista, her power, kind of to out-trade the dual lane, and on top of that, just moving around to pick up the CS. But additionally, Stress, I feel like CozQ and Kikis, the ones to really start that fight, taking these aggressive moves. It's just a good look, but now CozQ, as he's going too far forward, is going to start to back up. Now the hook goes in on a Trick. Galio has to use the hero's entrance. Gonna get a single knockup, and PerkZ has to back off. Incredibly tanky, but it's gonna get blocked on the Justice Punch. Move forward for Kikis. He's now trapped in the Thunderdome, but Gargoyle Stormplate makes it pretty easy. Suddenly it's Sven on the backside, and he's dishing out as much damage as he can. The taunt comes in. There's the synergy. There's the team fighting. G2 moving forward, but CozQ not gonna have it. Amazing still on the backside. Where's he gonna go? Moves forward onto Trick. Oh, looking for a little bit more. Can he take down Trick? Amazing. This is not what you wanted. The turnaround. G2, hold on.
From what looked like a good start to the fight out from Mysterious Monkeys, Yuki ended up getting so much damage put onto him, and then he just had to fall back away. The damage disappears from Mysterious Monkeys, and CozQ, don't just walk into mid lane like that. Whoa. Calm down against the Twitch.
Whew. A little aggressive. We'll
just a touch.
A little aggressive. and still, I have to say, very close fight. Sven on the backside, PerkZ coming in. I gotta respect the Twitch, though, on the side of Mysterious Monkeys.
Right, and you can see the turnaround, though, for Mysterious Monkeys to go in their favor. As soon as Galio comes in, they disengage. They say, okay, wait out the shields, wait out a lot of that damage reduction, and we can turn the fight in our favor. They utilize this Kalista, but look, Yuki, maybe that one hop was enough. 2 more hops puts him right in Sven's range. And Yuki has to fall back away from the fight, means he's completely on the back foot for the rest of this, and then suddenly Amazing goes in, thinks he can get work done, utilizes his flash, but still, this Twitch is untouched in the fight, and that is what cannot happen.
And that's that awkward moment is Amazing. You said it earlier, he's not worried about damage, he wasn't worried about tankiness, though he does have the tankiness now, and that means he can't finish those kills, but as it is so frequently with G2 and these styles of comp with Galio in the mid lane, it was all about that Twitch in the last fight. He only gets stronger as we move forward, and we may need to see Mysterious Monkeys hold off on the gas before they can make sure to shut down that Twitch. And
Mysterious Monkeys is trying to set up into this 1-3-1 scenario. You can see it down on the bottom lane. That's where Kikis is. And there's no vision on him quite, well, at this point in time for G2. They saw him on the wave before, so you assume he will push the next one. Both top laners have teleport available.
Amazing. Body slam forward. Cannot see Sven, so not going to risk pulling the trigger there. But there's Kikis as well. Man, these guys, they really want to kill that little rat.
And Kikis is always roaming first out of lane against Expect. Always Kikis moving out. It's a little bit more in his prerogative because he's the one pushing the lane up. Doesn't exactly have the best vision on that bottom side for it, so they swap out of that for now. And I want to see Mysterious Monkeys put a little bit more emphasis on vision around Kikis rather than around the lane that CozQ was in. Or maybe just rush the Baron. That's not what I want to see. They've got the Kalista, but I think it's still risky.
Getting lower. Trick going to be eaten up. Mysterious Monkeys immediately back off, not going to pursue it any further. Remember, though, the Kalista, if they can get it low enough, pretty much a guaranteed out-smite. No contention there if they can get it that low, but G2 not going to let it happen.
The reason for starting that is you're looking for Expect to use his TP. You want that teleport advantage so that next time Kikis goes bottom lane, if Expect shows up, then you go for the Baron, and you actually all in on it with the Kalista, with the teleport from Camille, and you theoretically get the Baron and the fight because of the numbers advantage. Problem is, G2, they've been around the block a few times when it comes to Baron dances. They know what happens in that, so Expect holds steady, doesn't utilize his TP, and we go back to this attempted 1-3-1 setup. Without the vision, Mysterious Monkeys need to go in, put down wards. They cannot play overly aggressive on the side lanes. Otherwise, that Tahm Kench will punish you every single time.
And you got to respect the pick. The later we get into the game, the more valuable often that Abyssal Voyage is. Specifically in the mid game, but the extra global pressure does put Mysterious Monkeys in a bit of an awkward spot. Now, however, they're giving up all the vision control around the pit. A single hidden ward really giving them just a bit of information as to what G2 might be up to. With the isolation onto Dreams, he's now in trouble. Sven with the sidestep, Layla King movement speed coming in, forcing out the Fate's Call.
Kikis is already roaming. Again, we talked about it. Overward means G2 are able to spot him coming. But again, Expect.
CozQ leaps forward. Mithy, now he's going to be locked in the middle of the ultimate. Hero's entrance is coming in, trying to keep Mithy alive as they back off, but multiple ults have now been traded. PerkZ leaping forward, flash in, does get the taunt. Keep your eyes on Sven. Out comes the damage, out comes the ultimate, the spray and pray. That's going to clean up Amazing. Now they're pushing forward. Now they're looking for a little bit more. Trick is ready, leaps in, not going to isolate anybody, but the slow is more than enough to keep the fight starting. Sven still hungry for blood. Expect hungry for blood, but it's Kikis off to the side. CozQ barely holding on for dear life. Sven gonna get traded back here in the end, as it's just gonna be the 2-for-1 in favor of G2. The remaining members of Monkeys hold the turret.
The kill is enough to stop G2 from going to the Baron. Again, that was a risky play from Mysterious Monkeys to try and absorb the teleport from Expect. They wanted to try and get a catch on to Mithy in response to Zven's aggressive play towards Dreams. And Kikis utilizes the Hextech ultimatum under the tower on Tahm Kench. Basically, one of the reasons you do that is he's like, well, the Twitch can't get away either if the Tahm Kench is locked in here. Yeah, you can just throw Twitch out the back of the ultimatum and it doesn't actually lock him in here. So Mithy gets Zven to safety and suddenly the fight looks a whole lot more G2 favored, as Yuki never really finds a safe spot in this fight. He's hopping backwards, gradually doing more damage, but with Amazing down, no real way of contesting a Baron. It was the kill at the end of all things that allowed Yuki to kind of get just a lot of damage down onto the Renekton, eat about 4,000 health, and suddenly be able to have an impact in that fight.
Look good in the end, and you can see how CozQ how close it was to being in the favor of Mysterious Monkeys. Camille ult comes out, Gragas just a little bit late, hoping to knock the Tahm Kench back into the team.
Oh, Baron setup, hang on, TP coming through. Look, Expect his bot lane, no TP. This is exactly what Mysterious Monkeys have been working for the last 5 minutes of this game.
Now Trick has sniffed this out, the rest of the team is there. If they pile up in the pit against a Twitch, they will go down, but CozQ swaps places with Trick. Trick still locked up. The Kalista still hitting the Baron. She can just smite it up. They are not gonna get it! G2! That should be impossible! But not for the Kings of Europe. They move forward, they look for a little bit more. Suddenly Zven is delivered into the back line. He flashes right over that Kalista. Pop, pop, that's the triple. Kikis, you're not getting anything back. Expect coming right back into the fight. Amazing, desperate to get something, but you're just feeding kills. That's the quadra. Why not just give him the penta too? Mysterious Monkeys throw everything away.
Oh, Mysterious Monkeys have been working for 5 minutes for that play, and something somewhere on that Smite Ren combo went horribly wrong for Mysterious Monkeys, and we absolutely need the super slow-mo, the slowest we can get it. I need to see what Yuki did there, or somebody did to Yuki to stop him getting that rend off properly.
Dead even stress for so much of the game. Now a 7K lead backing up G2 on top of the 3 dragons they've already amassed. They're making it look easy, and here's the replay.
This should
You don't need Smite. Rend beats Smite. Let's be clear here. This is impossible.
Where is it? Smite comes out 1,500. Oh, there was 200 health left on the Rend. He didn't have enough Rend stacks. The Smite came down. What? He rended early. That shouldn't happen. And then from there, I mean, Twitch just walks in and kills him.
Here comes
you already
Twitch.
set that one
Mithy
up. That's fine.
saves it all, gets a quadra.
That should happen.
I mean, that's what happens with late game Twitch. I'm just,
wow.
I am stunned. He had 1,300 damage in Ren stacks. 1,300, went from 1,500 to 200. If he had waited for 1,300 health, they'd secure the Baron, because Smite cannot beat that. Nope. Not even at level 18, that is a level 15 Kha'Zix.
Oh, that's so rough. That right there is one of probably the worst feelings I would have to imagine. Like playing Kalista, having the perfect rend, and then just
I mean, I don't know how it feels, because I have never seen it happen, Stress. I have never seen a Kalista mess up the rend. And putting Yuki on the spot, that is not where you want to be, man. You cannot afford to make a mistake like that, because at the end of the day, if he gets that Baron, we don't know what happens in that fight, right?
You've got a 1-3-1 setup there.
Definitely better. Definitely better than what did happen. And now G2, 100% control of this game.
The problem now is 6-0-2 Twitch. You've got a jungler that is 2 levels up as well with damage. Now, Mysterious Monkeys may be looking for somehow one fight where they kill Zven to turn the game back around, but that is a big ask at the level disparities. They need Yuki to perform in the next team fight along with Kikis. Otherwise, this game is in G2's books.
And we look at the threats available on the side of Mysterious Monkeys. Kikis, CozQ, Yuki, all these guys 2, 3, maybe even 4 shots from Zven. All it's going to take when he has that spray and pray up to kill them, and he can hit them all in a line. It is so difficult, not even considering the Galio, the Tahm Kench. But you're right, Stress. That is kind of the last line, the last hope here for Mysterious Monkeys. CozQ trying to make it a reality. Just connecting some damage down, and it's just holding on, waiting for this Baron to fade away so Monkeys can find an opportunity to make a play.
And for the record, unless the indicator was incorrect on the replay, which sometimes does happen, I don't think Trick used Smite during that Baron steal, because it wasn't showing as being on cooldown after it. So that may even have been a next level steal. Here comes the Galio ult though.
Renekton just buying a bit of space. threatening the engage. Sven just hitting the tower freely. G2, they don't even need the fight. They're just trying to push the monkeys back. But Kikis, he's looking for the flank, throws out the tactical sweep, not going to connect onto any major targets. Hook goes in onto PerkZ. Definitely not the person you want to hit, but he is locked up in the middle of the team. Still keep your eyes on Sven. The Twitch is all that matters, and he is untouched. But in goes the Camille. He's trying to get down a bit of damage. Mithy doesn't even need to swallow the rat, because he can just swallow the Camille. Now the GA has been procced. G2 just going to push forward. This should just be it, Stress.
Yep, that's going to be 3 kills in favor of G2. Now they're going for the Nexus. Doesn't matter, Baron's expired. What a great turnaround.
Now looking for a little bit more desperation. No real chance left to save it. Trying to save the day, trying to save Yuki. But Trick is the one out for blood, and Sven is on the backside, dishing out all the damage they need. Amazing gonna drop as well. G2 dead even for so much of the game, but all it takes is one miracle steal from Trick, and G2 take game 1.
That is 1 in a million. That Baron happening that way. I mean, I say that if you miss the rend, if you don't quite hit the timing, it can happen to any player. Unfortunately for Mysterious Monkeys, from a setup they worked for so long, getting that teleport finally from Expect, saying, okay, now's the time, let's go to Baron, let's do it. Split-second botch, and suddenly everything's up in smoke, and G2 come back with a win. It looked convincing after that botched smite. G2 just walk it straight through the base.
And that's the power of Twitch. These are the compositions that G2 have built. They are so amazing in the late game when they have the Twitch. They have Sven on that champion that he has been so clutch with in the past. But I gotta say, still, it's hard not to be a little upset after that play if you're on the side of Mysterious Monkeys. But we still have to praise them for staying even for so much of the game.
Right.
For contesting G2 across the map, for forcing plays, making sure never just to give up an objective for free. Always the map for forcing plays, making sure never just to give up an objective for free. Always trading something. However, none of that matters, man. None of that matters. All people remember is that last mistake.
Right.
People aren't going to look at this game and go, but hey, you guys did good in the mid game. They're going to go, but hey, you threw it all away. Yeah. And that's the stuff people remember, and that is brutal.
The unfortunate thing right now is the end of the game doesn't really tell the story in the sense as you're talking about. Sven's stats look ridiculous. 9-0-4 on the game. Unfortunately, G2 aren't back yet. Good way to close the game, but it's not that one-sided game people want to see.
Definitely not the case. Well, G2 came out on top here in game 1. For more on their win, let's check in with our analyst desk.
Thank you very much, guys. And of course, the question is, Stress, as you say, is this not G2 being back yet? Or is this just the Mysterious Monkeys that is much stronger than we had anticipated? And you can't really tell. I do want to look at picks and bans because, Vedis, you had asked beforehand. I really want to see a strong, good draft out of G2. How do you think they did?
I had a few question marks around the draft. I think that what they did early on made a lot of sense. So investing in the Galio, you have a lot of flexibility. You can move it top and mid. I was largely expecting it to go mid and then for them to put a Rumble up top, especially if later on you want to do what they've done in the past, which is give Sven a rough matchup, but put faith in him and know that he can get himself through the laning phase and have a lot of value later on. So they give him a rough matchup, but it allows the Kha'Zix to come through for Trick, which is one of his most comfortable champions, and then you have a high damage dealer top with the Rumble. Instead, they choose to go for the Renekton, and there's a huge gamble in that because not only does Amazing love to camp top, but also Renekton is very reliant on snowballing that lane. And when you play a Kha'Zix, it's very difficult for you to just sit there and camp that lane a lot.
Very luckily for him, Kikis missed his flash very early on the first gank, which I think tilted a lot, though, in their favor. I also want to talk to you about the mid lane matchup, because you were saying, actually, LeBlanc has an advantage versus Galio in the laning phase, at least at one front. And
I think that's worth praising Mysterious Monkeys for, because I feel like they identified that's going to be a Galio mid, and we also feel like that the Renekton top is going to come out once we saw the Mordekaiser ban. So the thing about LeBlanc is she does have a lot of mobility to avoid the taunt, but also the thing about LeBlanc that a lot of people don't realize is she actually builds a lot of attack damage because she goes for an early Gunblade, which means that early itemization for a Galio is actually very difficult, and it gives him a rough laning phase, which is why they're actually able to get an early kill kill onto him as well. And we saw a lot of early proactivity from Mysterious Monkeys, which is very much what we expected.
That they did. And for me, when watching this, I did have the question, is it proactivity or is it defensiveness and reaction to what G2 was doing? And I wanted to ask you, where do you think it falls? Was it reactive or was it setting up?
Well, I feel like it was a lot of setup, especially when we look at this replay. So we're going to pause it just here because I want to emphasize the difference in vision that you can see. So if you just look at the minimap for G2, they really can't see very much of the enemy's map right now. They have no idea where 4 members are of Mysterious Monkeys, whereas Mysterious Monkeys, if we toggle over to their vision, what you can see is they invested a huge amount of vision resources earlier on into the play, so they could see exactly where Trick was. This means that CozQ and Kikis, very proactive in just immediately going onto an opportunity with full knowledge of exactly where G2 are. And I find this is very impressive as we just roll out the rest of the clip, because this level of coordination and this level of setup, given that Amazing and Kikis have only just recently joined the team, it's very impressive because they have a goal in mind. They know we want to go for the dragon, we have strong pushing lanes, let's get deep vision, they find a pick, and now they're in a great position to move towards whatever objective that they want next.
Yeah, a lot of the early games seem to be centered around the fact that Mysterious Monkeys were still able to pick up kills even if they had a disadvantage before. We saw that G2 got the Rift Herald, tried to put it mid, but Mysterious Monkeys teleported behind them and started to weather the storm. So it all looked very, very even. But then come mid-game in team fights, it seemed like G2 not quite outscaled them, but had a lot of tools to negate what Mysterious Monkeys were bringing to them. And that's the next replay I want to call up, because they weren't just able to kill anyone on G2 already. And this is only the mid-game, so we're going to take a look at that.
And the player I want you to watch is CozQ, because look at what he uses all of his abilities on. First, he throws everything onto a Tahm Kench, and then onto a Renekton. So now there's no backline threat. Zven has nothing to be worried about, especially with a Galio sitting in front of him. So just keep your eyes on Zven and PerkZ, because those two are just dealing with the main damage dealers on Mysterious Monkeys, and they just lock them all up, and Zven is free to do exactly what he wants. Just dish off damage and obliterate the backline. And I just feel like the Mysterious Monkeys didn't have a clear identity as to what they wanted to do in these fights. CozQ wasn't fights. CozQ wasn't flanking. There was no dive onto the backline from Kikis. There was no real threat onto the only damage dealer, which was Zven. And you have to kill this guy if you want to be able to win out on these fights.
Nobody could get to him. It looked like it was just a little too little for Mysterious Monkeys throughout the entire game. Sadly, starting maybe it was an omen that Kikis only narrowly missed that flash, because it was just a little in all those fights as well. And then they do have the foresight to say, well, we need to make something happen. Let's try and sneak the Baron. Let's see if we have the setup. And you think with a Kalista it's going to work. Now, Stress said it was a 1 in a million fail. Do you agree?
I feel like that in the high-pressure situation this was in, I don't actually think it was that bad from the side of Mysterious Monkeys. The smite comes out, the amount of Ren damage is very difficult to predict, and there was so much pressure coming in from G2 that you're just kind of left in this scenario where you just hope it does enough damage. And unfortunately in this situation, it wasn't. But you just have to really credit G2 in the sense of, like, the more Ren stacks he gets, the harder it is for us going to be to get that Baron. So we just have to go, and all 5 of them just go straight into that pit, and they're like, you rend it now, or else. Like, and you don't have any other choice. So I want to praise G2 more, because I feel like that the way in which they played that very much respected the Kalista and what she could do in that situation.
Good stuff from G2, and a frustrating game in my eyes
Very
to lose
so.
from the side of the Mysterious Monkeys. G2 has chosen red side quickly before we go. Is Twitch the ban that they were going to go for, or is it just not ever useful to try and ban out Zven? Because
I feel like that if you're going to target anyone, you should always target Trick. We've seen that his champion pool appears to be limited on stage. And if you take away his Kha'Zix and maybe even take away some of the little defensive picks like Rek'Sai, I wonder what else he has left in the tank. And while his performance this game was better than it has been in past, I felt like that was because he was on a comfort champion. So I want to see what Mysterious Monkeys can do if they have more of an early game champion like a Rek'Sai themselves, see if they can snowball this lead more, and just have a clearer idea of what they want to be doing as they move into the mid-game.
we will see what idea they come up with. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, the players step on stage for Game 2. Stick around.